The boy looked around to make sure no one was watching, then slipped his phone into the body of the dead old man. To his shock, not long after, he received a text message from the old man. Terrified, he told his father what had happened, but his father dismissed it as a hacker's prank. After all, the dead don't come back to life. But the boy didn't believe that. The message had included a code phrase, something only he and the old man used in private conversations. There was no way a hacker could have known it. To confirm whether his best friend had truly died, Craig rushed to the old man's grave. When he called the phone, he heard the familiar ringtone coming from beneath the ground. Horrified, Craig ran home. After calming down, he convinced himself that it must have just been the ringtone, nothing more. Perhaps it really was a hacker playing a cruel joke. Gradually, Craig forgot about the phone. That was until one day, he was badly beaten by a school bully. Bruised and lying helplessly on the ground, overwhelmed by pain and injustice, he thought of calling the old man to vent his frustration. In a moment of anger, he wished the bully would disappear forever. He didn't mean it, just a heat-of-the-moment outburst. But the next day, the bully was dead. Craig was stunned. Could it really have been the old man? Seeing the grief on the bully's family's faces filled Craig with guilt. He started asking around and learned that the bully had died from alcohol poisoning. But the death was bizarre. He was found face down with his arms crossed in a twisted posture, identical to how Craig had collapsed the night before. Was that just a coincidence, or had the old man really returned to deliver justice? Whether or not it was his doing, Craig felt the need to explain. Over the phone, he said he hadn't meant what he said that night. It was just a thoughtless remark, not a wish for death. But as soon as he hung up, the phone rang again. The caller ID showed the old man. Craig jumped in fear and refused to answer, letting it ring out. Then, just like last time, a text came through, identical in content. That was the moment Craig became certain the bully's death was no accident. It was connected to the old man. Panicking, he sealed the phone away, determined to cut off all contact for good. Without the old man or the bully interfering, Craig's life soon returned to normal. He went on to get accepted into a prestigious university. Just as he was looking forward to this new chapter, tragedy struck again. His high school teacher was killed in a car accident. This teacher had always protected Craig from the bully and had been like both a mentor and a friend. The driver responsible was one of the wealthiest men in town. After some backdoor dealings, he was sentenced to just 6 months in an alcohol rehab center, one that allowed free movement and offered luxury accommodations. It was less a punishment and more a vacation. The more Craig thought about it, the angrier he became. He decided his teacher deserved justice. He returned home, pulled out the sealed phone, and dialed that number he hadn't touched in so long. He told the old man about the man's crimes and wished that he'd pay for what he'd done. But as soon as he hung up, regret overwhelmed him. What if this really led to the man's death? Craig followed the news obsessively for the next few days. At first, nothing happened, and he began to wonder if the previous deaths had all been coincidences. Then came the shock. News broke that the man had committed suicide. Craig tracked down the victim's housekeeper, who told him the man had choked to death on half a bar of soap. The soap had blocked his throat and suffocated him. But the most chilling detail came next. The soap was of a brand the man had never used before. Craig knew instantly it was the brand his teacher had always loved. Once again, Craig was consumed with guilt. Back home, another text arrived from the same sender with the same eerie message. Craig realized he was spiraling deeper into darkness. He walked to a nearby river, took out the cursed phone, and hurled it into the water, forever erasing the memories of this disturbing chapter in his life.